Hi, everybody. I hope everybody's having a good day wherever they are. Like I say in my videos, I'm not responsible. If anybody gets hurt, it's just my opinion. And today I'm with my sidekick, Michaela. I'm hi. So today I'm going to talk about Nick Romney, whose parents were murdered, uh, Rob Reiner, and um, Michelle Reiner. This is my opinion on his state of mind and what I think he is. You know, a lot of other people have made videos on this, but I'm just putting my 2 cents in the thing. Because I've seen other videos on him, they've been floating around like you've seen everything about him making videos. The one he made with his father, I make that Charlie one. I didn't want to see it. I saw parts of it. He seemed like an arrogant, like Veruska Salt from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, a narcissistic person. Like, oh, is me. Everybody's out to get me. I'm the victim. Like he doesn't take accountable, and everybody thinks he's like a child. Maybe the medicine people say that because he was on drugs and the medicine made him but he was still a grown man. He was 32 years old and he's a grown man. So he's not a kid. I hate it when I see people say he's a kid. He's still an adult. He was an adult. Maybe he was immature, but he's still adult. And this is what I think he is because I saw a video where he was talking about a dog was talking and they were saying, "Oh, you about PETA?" I mentioned this before, and he says, "Oh, if that effing dog doesn't shut up, I'm gonna kill him." And I'm thinking, "Oh my God, that's terrible." And then he said what he said about someone asked him about Snapple drink, and he says he likes to put his, in it. I thought, hey, this guy is not playing with a full deck. And what his sister said about him, that she was so scared of him all the time growing up, even before doing the drugs. He had a fascination when he was 8 years old and she was younger, that she wanted to spend time with him, but then he liked to torture animals. He wanted to do mean things to animals, and she hated that. She loved, because I saw YouTube videos where Rob Reiner loved animals. He was a dog person, and he and Nick wanted to torture them and abuse them. And that's sick to me. I'm an animal lover. So anybody, that's a red flag. I don't know, to me, a red flag. You know what animal abusers are? People who destroy furniture. He lived in a townhouse on the property and they would pay for it. To me, it was enabling. I know narcissistic people. I don't know any psychopaths or sociopaths, but I know narcissistic people in my life. So, and I stay away from them. But we'll talk about Nick. But anyway, he would destroy property. He would never take responsible. He never said sorry. He only cared about himself. He was self-centered. He was a spoil. I don't know if he was spoiled. They tried the best to put him into mental hospitals, and he didn't want to. He was in and out. You know. So I'll tell you what I think. I think he was a psychopath or sociopath because he had no remorse about the animals. I don't know if he did any damage to his own parents' dogs or something, enjoyed torturing. That's sick. I think he has no empathy. Narcissistic, psychopaths, and sociopaths have no remorse for anything. They never apologize. They think of themselves. They're self-centered. He murdered his parents in bathe. It was not, he did not upset. He changed his clothes, took a shower in a hotel room. That was conscience. That was not, they say he's schizophrenic or something like that, of ADHD. I have a learning disability, and I would never think of doing that. Even though if I didn't like my parents, or he didn't like his parents, despise his parents, yeah. So I think he was he was a psychotic psychopath. I think they should have just either I'll make an upcoming video, but I'll probably repeat myself. But I think they should have thrown him out. I'd have just kicked him to the curb, you know. And now, what upsets me one of the most is that his family is paying the bill over $70 million for a lawyer for this guy who's psychotic, who is a dangerous to himself and his family. She would even mention she was scared of him. You know, everybody had to be on eggshells around him, around Nick, because they were scared he'd throw a tantrum. They were scared of him. I saw an upcoming video where they did call the police on him a couple times. I think they called the police on him, and oh God, they should have just kicked him out. I know they kicked him out a bunch of times, but he still came back and he made them feel guilty. He manipulated them. I would have said, take it to the curb. I've known people who are, like I said, who are narcissistic. I just kick them to the curb and say, you're destroying my family's life. I don't want anything to do. They should have just kicked him to the curb. And if he ended up dead, homeless, oh, say be it. It's better than his parents being dead. You know, I'd feel sorry for them, but not for him. You know, they should have said enough is enough. They should change the locks. I think they should have changed the locks if they knew he was psychotic. They said they were afraid of him. They should have changed the locks. They shouldn't have had him come to the party. What, they think he was going to hurt himself? I don't think so. These are narcissistic people do not injure themselves, and so and so is sociopaths and sociopaths, and yeah, all of those people do not hurt themselves. Believe me, I don't think he would have hurt himself. I maybe would be scared that he would trash the house again, you know, but I don't think he would have done any harm to himself. Narcissistic people do not hurt themselves. I'll tell you right now. You know, they feel the victim. He felt the victim, like, oh, my parents didn't love me enough. They didn't do this. He pisses me off. I can't stand him. More and more I see of his videos about him being self-titled. I would never see that movie because it glorifies him. He didn't have any talent. You know, he was jealous of his parents, you know, and he didn't have a job. They should have had him get a job, or if they're not, do charity work, you know. He was very self-centered and he didn't care about anybody but himself. And now he's going to go to prison. I don't think he'll get the death penalty. Not in California. They're not. That's kind of liberal. And now they having him be. They're going to try to do the mental thing. I don't think that. If he did, oh God, you know. Maybe he'll hurt himself or something. I wouldn't feel sorry for him. A lot of people don't think that's nice, but he took away his right for me to feel sorry for when he killed his parents. I think he's a psychopath, you know, or sociopath, one or the other. Into my other videos, take care and bye.